Hey, glad you could join me. It feels different to step into the silence of the universe with someone beside me. Out here, where the stars scatter like glowing seeds across endless darkness, company matters. Thanks for being here. It makes the journey warmer, calmer, like sitting by a fire on a cool night, except the fire is galaxies away and the night has no end. You and I can wander slowly, taking it all in, letting the immensity settle around us without hurry. Space is vast, but when it is shared, it feels less like being lost and more like being at home. So breathe with me, steady and unhurried, and let's begin this long drift together. If you like listening to quiet stories about space and stars, please tap the like button. It helps others find this peaceful place too. And if you want to come back for more calm journeys through the universe, please like and subscribe. Enjoy what I do here, and let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from and what time it is for you. It's always fascinating to see who's joining us from around the world. Hey everyone, today we're looking into stars, and from there we are carrying ourselves outward, farther and farther, until we reach the question that sits quietly at the edge of thought. What lies at the edge of everything we can see? Picture yourself rising above the Milky Way with me. At first, the stars are familiar, scattered like bright sand, each one a spark of heat and light. Then the view widens, and the galaxy itself curls into a great silver spiral, glowing softly like a seashell turned to catch the light. You hold out your hand, and it is there in your palm, a delicate swirl, enormous in reality but fragile from this distance. Step further outward, and more galaxies appear. They are countless, each a city of stars. Some shine brightly, spirals of blue and gold. Others are dim smudges, stretched and twisted, faint but present. The more you look, the more you see. Galaxies upon galaxies, scattered across a cosmic web, so vast that your eyes cannot take them all in at once. Stretch your arms wide, and still the universe spills beyond your reach. It is endless in feeling, yet still there is a boundary, not of walls but of sight. Every step we take away from Earth pulls us deeper into history. Light takes time to travel, and what you see is not the present but the past. Look at that galaxy glowing faintly in the distance. Its light has been traveling for millions of years to reach your eyes. That dim red shimmer over there has been moving for billions. You are not just drifting through space, you are drifting through time. Pause here with me and notice how strange that feels. The stars on your left may have died long ago, their light still on the way. The stars on your right may be newly born, their glow still young. The universe is a patchwork of times, stitched together into one endless night. Now let us push further, to where the light is faintest. Ahead of us, galaxies grow smaller and redder. They seem fragile, as though they are flickering candles trying to survive in the wind. You step closer and realize these are some of the first galaxies that ever formed. Their stars are new, hot, and wild. Their shapes irregular, clumps of fire learning how to be galaxies. You can reach out and feel the hush that surrounds them, the quiet awe of creation still fresh. These galaxies are so far that their light has been stretched thin, their colors deepened into crimson. They are ancient and young at once, a paradox you can hold in your gaze. And beyond them, farther still, the glow grows faint until it becomes a haze. This is the afterglow of the beginning itself, light from when the universe was still a child. Close your eyes and listen. You might hear it as a faint hum, the soft echo of creation still lingering in the silence. It surrounds everything, not just one direction but all directions. It is the universe's memory, the last trace of its first fire. Imagine standing in that glow, your skin brushed with the warmth of an event that happened nearly 14 billion years ago. So what lies at the edge of everything we can see? It is not a wall you can touch or a line you can cross. It is a horizon of light. The farthest distance photons have traveled to meet your eyes. Beyond that edge, the universe continues, but its stories are hidden. You can reach out all you like, your hand glowing faintly in the last light of the beginning. But no matter how far you stretch, you cannot pull more of it into view. The observable universe is a bubble of sight, wrapped around us, vast beyond comprehension, yet only a fraction of what exists. Stay with me here a little longer. Look around. Behind us lies the familiar galaxy of home. Ahead lies the haze of the beginning, and around us, countless suns and worlds fill the space in between. You might feel a tug in your chest, a mixture of wonder and humility. We are small, but we are here, and our eyes reach almost to the beginning of time itself. The edge of the observable universe is not an ending. It is a reminder that there is always more, always beyond, always unseen, waiting in silence. Here is something worth pausing over. What does it mean to stare into a horizon made not of land or sea, but of time itself? Think about the horizons you know. Stand on a beach and the ocean stretches until it meets the sky in a distant line. Climb a mountain and the land falls away, fading into the hazy blur of distance. A horizon on Earth is a boundary of place, a line that marks how far you can see before the world curves or the air grows thick. But out here, in the dark expanse of the cosmos, the horizon is stranger. It is not made of land or water, not made of mist or curvature. It is built from light, and from the years that light has traveled. Picture yourself standing with me in the stillness. All around us the stars glow, their light soft and scattered. Some are near, their brightness sharp and clear. Others are faint, dim sparks that seem on the verge of disappearing. Every one of them is a messenger, carrying a memory across space. The farther away you look, the older those memories become. A galaxy 100 million light-years away shows you what it was like 100 million years ago. A galaxy 10 billion light-years away shows you the faint image of its youth, when the universe itself was younger. Each step of distance is a step backward in time. Reach your hand outward now, fingers spread against the dark. What you touch is not space alone, but the past. The faint glow that brushes your palm is ancient, older than the tallest mountains on Earth, older than the oceans that roll across its surface, older than life itself. To stare into this horizon is to stare into history unfolding in every direction. The edge you see is not the edge of the universe, it is the edge of what has had time to reach us. Beyond it lies more, silent and unseen, but what falls on your eyes is the story of everything that has ever shone in our direction. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine hearing the horizon. It does not roar like an ocean or whistle like the wind. It hums quietly, a background note that has been playing since the beginning. That hum is not the voice of distance, but the voice of time itself, stretched across the vastness. Open your eyes again and notice how the galaxies on the horizon are not crisp like the ones nearby. They are blurred, red-shifted, stretched thin, their light softened by age. They appear fragile, as though they might crumble if you breathed too hard. And yet, they are not fragile at all. They are echoes of immense power, whispers of creation still traveling toward us after billions of years. Think of how different this horizon feels compared to Earth. On a beach, if you row across the sea, the horizon changes. On a plain, if you walk long enough, the line of distance moves with you. Here, no matter how far we travel, the horizon of time remains. It is not a line that retreats as you approach. It is a limit of vision, defined not by distance alone but by the speed of light and the age of the cosmos. To look at it is to face the fact that we are not only in space, we are inside time itself. Step closer with me, even if we can never cross it. Feel how the air, if there were any, would tingle against your skin, as though you were brushing against the very fabric of history. Staring into this horizon is to stare into the record of everything that has been. Galaxies flicker like lanterns in a fog, and each one is a page of the universe's diary, written long before we were here to read it. Your eyes become time machines, pulling ancient events into the present, letting you witness a beginning that has not yet ended. Now let yourself imagine standing on a world circling a star far out near this horizon. Look up at its sky. The stars would look younger, brighter, fresher than the ones near our home. That planet's sky would hold a different past than ours. Its horizon of time shifted from our own. Every observer in the universe holds their own horizon. Every place sees its own edge of time. You and I stand here, gazing into ours, and in doing so, we join a countless number of other possible observers, each staring into their own circle of history. So what does it mean to stare into a horizon made not of land or sea, but of time? It means you are not just looking outward, you are looking backward. You are standing at the shore of a cosmic ocean where every wave is an ancient memory. You can reach down and scoop one into your hands, feel it slip through your fingers, and know it left its home billions of years ago, only to arrive here, now, in your touch. The horizon of time is not an end, but an invitation, a reminder that the universe is both vast and old, and that by opening your eyes you are already traveling, not through space alone, but through the ages that shaped it. Here is something to wonder about together. How far back can our eyes truly reach when we look into the night sky? At first glance, the stars above seem timeless, twinkling points scattered across darkness, as though they are all happening at once. But let yourself sink into the thought a little more deeply. Every one of those lights is a messenger that left its home long before it touched your eyes. When you look up, you are not seeing the present moment. You are seeing a layered quilt of ancient histories stitched together. Picture the nearest star beyond the sun, its light left only a few years ago. When you see it now, you are glancing back into your own recent past. Stretch your gaze farther, and the years pile up. Some stars are hundreds of years away, shining with light that began its journey during the age of explorers sailing wooden ships across the seas. Others are thousands of years away, their glow beginning its voyage when the first human cities were young, when stories were carved in stone and fires burned in clay lamps. When you let your eyes rest on them, you are touching those ages, not in books or ruins, but in light that has traveled without pause to reach you. Now drift outward with me into the vastness. Beyond the stars of our galaxy lie clusters upon clusters of galaxies, each holding billions of suns. The light from some of them has been traveling for tens of millions of years. Pause here with me and take that in. The dinosaurs walked the earth when this light began its journey. The world was covered in forests of ferns and towering reptiles when those photons set out, and they are only now brushing your face as a faint shimmer. Reach up and imagine catching one on your fingertips. You are holding the echo of a world long gone, a memory carried faithfully across unimaginable distance. Keep moving farther. Ahead of us are galaxies so distant, their light has been on the road for billions of years. When you look at them, you are peering into a time when Earth itself was a newborn planet, its surface hot and unsettled, its skies thick with storms. Those faint smudges of light are cosmic fossils, showing us what the universe looked like when life here had not yet even begun. You are not just seeing distance, you are seeing origin. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the hum of those ancient journeys filling your ears. Every note a reminder of how far the universe has stretched since then. And if you push your sight to the limit, to the very edge of what telescopes can gather, you find yourself staring into the first light that ever escaped the fog of the young universe. That light has been traveling for nearly 14 billion years. Imagine that. 14 billion years of uninterrupted motion, slipping past galaxies, weaving through empty voids, gliding across all of time and space to reach us. When you let your eyes rest on it, you are not simply looking at a faint glow. You are standing at the threshold of creation, the afterglow of the first fire that set everything in motion. You could reach out with me now, touch that faint background light, and know you are touching the universe's earliest memory. So how far back do our eyes truly reach? They reach farther than the ground beneath our feet, farther than the seas that cover Earth, farther than the forests and cities that mark our history. They reach into ages when no human hand had yet drawn a picture on a cave wall, into times before Earth had cooled enough for oceans, into epochs when galaxies themselves were first gathering their stars. Your eyes are time machines. They carry you across billions of years without moving a step. When you stand under the night sky, you are not only gazing outward, you are traveling inward to the oldest story ever told, the one written in light that never forgot its way. Here is a thought that pulls us even closer to the edge. What would you witness if you could stand beside a galaxy perched at the very boundary of visibility? Let us go there together, slowly drifting outward until the familiar spirals and bright clusters fall behind us. The galaxies near home glow confidently, their arms clear and well-formed, but as we push deeper into distance, their shapes begin to soften. Their light is stretched thin, painted red by the expansion of space itself. These faint smudges are not ordinary. They are survivors of time, ancient travelers sending their last whispers across the dark. Now picture us arriving at one of them. From far away, it looked like a tiny blur, but here up close you can see it as a fragile congregation of stars, gathered loosely, not yet the grand spirals we know nearby. It is young by cosmic standards, born when the universe itself was still in its earliest ages. Step closer with me and notice the colors of its stars. Many are blue and hot, burning fiercely, short-lived beacons of raw energy. They light the galaxy like sparks flying from a fire. Around them are faint clouds of gas, glowing dimly, feeding the birth of new stars. This place feels restless, alive with creation, as though the galaxy is still learning how to be one. Look outward from here, beyond the stars gathered around us. The sky is not like the one you know from Earth. Galaxies are fewer, the darkness thicker. Light has not had enough time to travel across vast distances, so the horizon looks thinner, more fragile. You can stretch out your hand and feel the emptiness press gently against your palm, as though space itself is whispering how young it still is at this edge. Behind you lies the distant haze of the cosmic background, the afterglow of the first fire. Ahead of you lies nothing your eyes can see. To stand here is to stand at the boundary of vision, caught between what is visible and what is hidden. Now imagine what it would be like to live on a world inside this galaxy. Look up from its surface, and the sky would be a different story. The stars above would be younger, brighter, and shorter-lived. Their light would flood the skies in shades of blue and white, fiercer than the soft golden glow of our sun. You might walk across a plain lit by a star that burns out in only a few million years, collapsing before its planets have even settled. Forests, if they could grow, would live under a sky filled with constant change. A star born in the morning might already be dying by the time your descendants walked the same soil. Life here would learn quickly, or it would not survive. Step back with me into the heart of this galaxy. The gas clouds swirl like rivers of mist, waiting to ignite into new stars. The air, if you could breathe it, would taste metallic, heavy with the raw elements of creation. You could reach out and feel the warmth of starlight spilling across your hand, so strong it tingles against your skin. This galaxy is not calm. It is not the settled spiral of the Milky Way. It is a storm of beginnings, every corner alive with motion, noise, and the fierce heat of birth. But look outward again, to the horizon that surrounds it. The light beyond this galaxy is faint, stretched until it nearly vanishes. You might stand at its edge and feel the weight of time pressing down on you. The photons arriving here have been traveling for nearly 14 billion years. They began their journey when the universe was less than 1 billion years old. To witness this galaxy is to witness a fossil of light, a record of youth captured in motion. You are standing inside history, not just looking at it. Let your gaze drift across its stars one more time. Notice how the shapes are irregular, as though gravity has not yet woven them into the grand designs we know. The spiral arms are stubby, broken, like sketches instead of finished drawings. This is what the first galaxies looked like, clumps of brilliance in a young cosmos. Their beauty is not in perfection but in raw energy, in the courage to shine at the edge of time. You might feel a pang of awe in your chest as you realize you are not only watching a galaxy, you are watching the universe itself learning how to create. How different would its stars look compared to the ones above our heads tonight? Let us stand together on a quiet hillside of Earth first. The night stretches above you, cool and familiar. The stars you see are calm points of light, sharp and steady against the dark. Some are bright white, others golden, and many twinkle faintly, their shimmer softened by our atmosphere. These are the neighbors of our sun, middle-aged stars that burn in steady rhythms. Their light is gentle, something you could stare at for hours without feeling overwhelmed. The constellations that we trace with our eyes are woven from these dependable suns, each one holding steady for millions or billions of years. Now let us shift ourselves outward, all the way to the galaxy at the edge of visibility. Feel how the ground beneath you changes, replaced by alien soil, perhaps dusted with colors you cannot find on Earth. Look up. The sky is no longer filled with the balanced glow of long-lived suns. Instead, it is alive with intensity. The stars here are young, newborn in cosmic terms, and they shine with a fierceness you rarely see near home. Many are massive, burning their fuel quickly, and their light is blue-white, almost searing. If you stretched your hand upward, the glow might feel sharper against your skin, less like a gentle warmth and more like the hot flash of lightning. The difference strikes you immediately. On Earth, the night sky feels steady, unchanging across generations. Here, in this faraway galaxy, the night would be restless. Stars would flare and die with dramatic speed. You might see brilliant beacons that appear and vanish within the span of human history. Whole constellations could shift in the lifetime of a single observer. Imagine standing on a plain here and watching as a massive blue star swells into a red giant, then collapses in a blaze of brilliance, leaving behind a darkness where once there was light. On Earth, such events are rare, glimpsed only by astronomers with great instruments. Here, they could be part of the nightly rhythm. Take a slow breath and look again. The stars above your head in this young galaxy are not calm, settled points. They are energetic, bursting with life, their colors fierce. Some are blue, others shining nearly white, their brilliance so intense it paints the land below in pale shades. In the distance, you might see great clouds of glowing gas, lit from within by clusters of newborn suns. The sky would not be empty, black dotted with points. It would be alive with swirls and patches of color, like paint brushed across a vast canvas that has not yet dried. Reach out your hand and imagine touching that light. It would not feel steady the way Earth's stars do. It would feel alive, pulsing, flickering. Each star here lives quickly, like a flame consuming its fuel before it has time to settle. Their youth makes them dramatic, and their deaths come swiftly. This galaxy's sky would remind you less of the calm night above Earth, and more of a fireworks show stretched across eternity, dazzling, restless, and always changing. Think also of how the colors shift. On Earth, our eyes catch mostly the white and golden shades. In this place, deep blues dominate, richer and brighter than anything you know from home. Imagine walking under that glow. The ground beneath your feet would shine in shades you have never seen. Plants, if they grew here, would absorb different light, perhaps glowing with strange hues themselves. Every living thing would be tuned to this young sky, adapting to the restless energy of its stars. So the difference is striking. On Earth, the stars are calm, familiar, points that guide travelers and mark seasons. In this distant galaxy, the stars are wild and young, burning hot and short, changing the sky in ways that would surprise you from night to night. Look up with me one more time. Let your eyes adjust to the brightness. Feel the hum of those youthful suns echo in your chest. To witness this sky is to witness a universe still in its childhood, filled with brilliance and restlessness. Nothing like the patient canopy above our heads tonight. What does it feel like to hold in your gaze the faint light of something that began its journey over 13 billion years ago? Let us stand still together for this one, because the thought alone is heavy, almost too large to carry. Lift your eyes to that dim haze on the edge of vision. At first, it looks fragile, barely there, as though a breeze could erase it. But then you remember what it really is. Those photons brushing your eyes are survivors. They were born when the universe was still young, when galaxies were only beginning to gather, when stars were still learning how to ignite. They set out on their journey long before there were oceans on Earth, before there were forests, before even the planet itself had taken shape. And yet here they are, meeting you in this single instant. Hold that thought closer. Imagine stretching your hand out to catch one of those ancient particles of light. It lands in your palm with no weight, yet it carries the memory of an entire cosmos. 13 billion years it has traveled, across voids so vast, you could line up every human story end to end, and still not span the distance. It has passed galaxies colliding, stars exploding, worlds forming and fading, all without slowing. To look at it is to be in direct contact with the oldest past you can possibly touch. No artifact, no ruin, no fossil compares. Those are measured in thousands or millions of years. This glow is measured in billions, the very first whisper of everything we know. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the sound of that journey. Not noise like waves or wind, but a deep silence that hums with meaning. That silence has been carrying these photons since the dawn, and you are the witness they finally meet. Open your eyes again and let the faint light press against your pupils. It is so delicate that you might think it could vanish, but it does not. It lingers, steady, patient, waiting for you to notice. That patience is what humbles you most. Light does not rush. It simply travels, unbending, until it finds you. Now consider what it does to your sense of self. Standing here, gazing at this ancient glow, you realize your own life is a flicker by comparison. The longest human story is a heartbeat against its age. And yet here you are, alive in this moment, able to reach across time with nothing more than your eyes. That connection is not small, it is enormous. It means that even though you are brief, you are still part of this continuum. You can stand in the present and pull the dawn of time into your gaze, merging the oldest past with the fleeting now. Imagine telling yourself to breathe slowly as you hold that faint light in your sight. Inhale and feel its age fill your chest. Exhale and release the wonder of it into the silence. Reach out with your hand again and imagine brushing your fingers across the glow. It does not burn, it does not blind. It rests gently on your skin like the faintest warmth of a candle in a cold room. But in that faintness lies all the energy that once lit the newborn cosmos. That dim shimmer is the trace of a universe that was only beginning to exist. Think too of how far it has come. For 13 billion years it has moved without pause, passing every corner of cosmic history. It left its source when galaxies were still clumps of gas, when space itself was smaller, denser, younger. It traveled as the universe stretched wider, as new stars filled the darkness, as worlds formed and cooled. It has seen more than any witness ever could, and now it has reached you. In your gaze, its journey finds an end, or perhaps a new beginning, as you give it meaning by noticing it. So what does it feel like? It feels like standing at the edge of a cliff, looking down into a depth so great you cannot measure it, yet knowing you are safe as long as you look. It feels like listening to the oldest story ever told not in words but in light. It feels like carrying the weight of the cosmos in your eyes, not as a burden but as a gift. And above all, it feels like being connected, like threads of light stretching across all of time, weaving you into the fabric of everything that ever was. Could you imagine watching galaxies as they were in their fragile infant forms? Let us walk gently into that vision together. Close your eyes for a moment and clear away the image of the majestic spirals we know so well, with their graceful arms and glowing cores. Those spirals are galaxies in their maturity, steady and organized, like great trees that have grown tall and rooted deep. Now open your eyes again and see what the cosmos looked like when it was still learning how to grow. All around you are galaxies in their earliest stages. They do not look smooth or symmetrical. They are lumpy, irregular, more like scattered clouds than polished spirals. Their stars are clumped unevenly, gathered in knots and filaments, as though someone spilled a handful of glowing embers across the night and left them to flicker where they landed. These infant galaxies are fragile, not yet settled, held together by gravity that is still weaving them into shape. You can almost hear the faint pull, like threads tightening on a loom, each strand of starlight being tugged towards something more coherent. Step closer with me to one of these young collections. The stars are hot, burning blue and white, with a fierceness you rarely see in older galaxies. Their light pours out in torrents, flooding space with energy. Around them, clouds of gas glow faintly, as though blushing under the radiance. You can reach your hand into that haze and feel the warmth of creation itself, the heat of stars being born in clusters, bursting forth like sparks from a fire. The air, if it existed here, would be heavy with the scent of new beginnings, sharp and raw. Now look at how chaotic it feels. These galaxies are not yet stable. Some are colliding with neighbors, merging and tearing at one another like rivers meeting at sharp angles. Streams of stars spill into the dark as though tossed out by invisible hands. Picture standing at the edge of one of these collisions. It would feel like watching continents collide, only on scales so vast the mind struggles to grasp them. The night sky above such a place would not be quiet or orderly. It would be full of motion, streams of light flowing in every direction, the heavens restless with birth and change. Think of what life might be like if it somehow grew under this sky. The nights would be brighter, perhaps even restless, with shifting glows as massive stars flared and died in quick succession. Imagine lying on the ground of some ancient world and seeing not just steady stars but constant eruptions of light, novas and supernovas painting the heavens in bursts of color. Every generation would grow up with a different sky, constellations breaking and reforming as stars vanished and new ones ignited. Time here would feel more alive, less patient, as though the universe itself were in a hurry. Let your eyes drift now across the field of these infant galaxies. Each one is unique, some stretched into ragged lines, others clumped like small knots. None are settled. None have found their mature balance. They are fragile in the sense that they could change at any moment, yet there is also strength in their beginnings. These early shapes are the seeds of what will become grand spirals and massive ellipticals. The beauty lies not in perfection but in the rawness, in the promise of what is still to come. Reach out with me again and imagine placing your hand against the glow of one of these galaxies. It trembles slightly, like a flame just beginning to catch. You can feel the hum of new stars inside it, each one a fresh note in the song of creation. That hum vibrates against your skin, reminding you that galaxies, like living things, have life cycles. They begin awkward and fragile, but with time they settle, grow, and find balance. So yes, you can imagine it. You can imagine standing in the silence of the young universe, looking at galaxies that are more like sketches than finished paintings, each one irregular yet radiant, fragile yet determined to shine. To watch them in their infant forms is to see the cosmos at its most vulnerable and its most hopeful. It is to witness the very first strokes on a canvas that would later become the masterpiece of the night sky. What would it be like to see the first starlight flicker in a universe still young and raw? Let us drift back in time together, farther than any galaxy, farther than any cluster of stars, all the way to an age when the cosmos was still shrouded in darkness. Imagine the universe as an endless ocean of hydrogen and helium gas, stretched thin and silent. There are no stars yet, no galaxies, no light at all, only a dim haze, warm from the fire of creation but without a single spark to break the gloom. It feels heavy, almost suffocating, as though you are standing in a fog so thick you cannot see your hand in front of your face. That was the universe for hundreds of millions of years. Quiet, waiting, raw, with potential. Now lean closer to this vast darkness. Somewhere in the thick silence, gravity is beginning its work. Clouds of gas collapse slowly, pulled inward by invisible hands. They swirl and twist, forming knots where matter collects, growing denser and hotter. Step inside one of these knots with me. You would feel the pressure building, the heat rising until it burns against your skin. The silence hums with tension, like the pause before lightning strikes. And then, in the heart of that cloud, something changes. The pressure becomes too great, the heat too intense. Atoms are forced together, and in that moment, the first star is born. Imagine being there when its light finally breaks free. At first, it is faint, a flicker in the endless black, so delicate you almost miss it. But then it swells, stronger, bolder, pouring brilliance into the surrounding darkness. That single point of light is not just a star, it is the end of silence. It is the first candle lit in a room that had only ever known shadow, and once one star ignites, others follow. Across the universe, more clouds collapse, more flames are born. Tiny sparks appear everywhere, scattered across the dark like the first stars of evening on Earth. The universe is no longer blind. It is alive with light. Step back with me now and look around. You would see the first starlight shining through the fog of gas, piercing it in shafts and beams. It glows blue and white, searingly hot, fiercer than most stars we know today. These first suns are massive, living fast, burning through their fuel in a cosmic rush. Their brilliance is overwhelming, spilling out into the vastness, transforming the universe around them. The darkness that once felt suffocating now seems fragile, thin, unable to hold back the flood of light. Imagine the sky of that time. It would not be the familiar dome of gentle twinkling stars we know tonight. It would be raw, wild, full of powerful beacons blazing into the void. The air, if you could breathe it, would taste sharp with heat and metal, as these stars forged the first heavy elements in their cores. You could stand on no planet yet, for planets did not exist, but if you floated near one of these giants, the light would be overwhelming. Your skin would tingle, your eyes would water, and your chest would fill with awe. And then, as you drift farther, you would notice something else. These first stars are short-lived. They burn furiously and then collapse, some exploding in spectacular supernovas. Imagine watching one of them end, its brilliance swelling until it shatters, sending shockwaves rippling through space. From its death, new elements are scattered, the seeds of everything that will one day form planets, oceans, and life. In their fragile flicker, these stars carried not only light but the ingredients of all that was to come. Imagine standing at the very beginning of what would one day become a sky full of stars. Picture a place so crowded with restless particles that even the quickest ray of light could not pass through. Could you picture a cosmos so dense with particles that no light could break through? It is not darkness like a night on Earth. It is a heavy, glowing fog, thick with heat, where everything is pressed so close together that it feels as if the universe is holding its breath. Look around slowly. There is no open space, no stars twinkling in the distance, no planets circling quietly. The air, if it could be called air, would feel almost solid against your skin. Each step you take is not through emptiness but through a warm tide of particles that drift and press and bounce against one another. They are tiny, too small to see, yet they fill everything. This is a universe before light learned to travel freely, before sight itself could stretch across any distance. Stretch out your hand. You will not find a single spark shining back. You might feel a faint warmth though, like the last glow in a cooling ember. That warmth is the leftover heat of a cosmos still young and restless, a heat that wraps you on all sides, soft but firm. Close your eyes for a moment. Listen to what is not quite silence. There is a low hum here, not carried on wind, not spoken in sound, but present all the same. It is the vibration of a universe busy with beginnings, every ripple a quiet announcement of what will one day take shape. Take another step. Time here is slow and heavy, yet it is moving. Each ripple pulls gently at the next. Small gatherings start to form in the thick sea around you. They are not yet galaxies, not yet stars, but they are the first hints of structure. Imagine threads being drawn through an invisible cloth, each thread tugging a little tighter. Those threads will one day become the pathways along which galaxies form, the great web that holds clusters together. But here they are, only soft outlines in a hazy room. Breathe in this moment. The taste of it, if it had a taste, would be metallic and sharp with newness. It is a place that does not yet know beauty, the way we see it in the night sky. There are no constellations here, no glowing arms spinning out across the dark. Yet, there is a strange kind of beauty in its promise. Everything you know, every star you have ever wished upon, every world that has ever turned beneath a sun, is folded quietly inside this thick beginning. Stay still for a heartbeat. Feel the warmth brush your cheek. It is not the warmth of a nearby star, but the shared heat of a universe so full it cannot let anything pass. With every passing moment, this density will loosen. The particles will drift a little farther apart. The fog will thin, first slowly, then with a steady release. And when that happens, light will escape for the very first time, rushing outward, carrying a record of this early crowding across billions of years, until it becomes the faint, ancient glow we see today as the cosmic microwave background. Think about that. The faint whisper of light we measure now was born in this very place, in this thick and crowded sea where no beam could once travel. It carries the memory of a time when the universe was young, quiet, and full of waiting. Reach out once more, as if to touch that memory. You cannot hold it, but you can feel its story pressing gently against your fingertips. Imagine arriving at a place where the universe is just about to reveal its face for the very first time. Picture yourself floating at the edge of an era when everything was hidden behind a thick, glowing mist. What would it mean to stand at the boundary of transparency, watching the first dawn of the universe itself? Take a slow breath with me here. Feel the weight of the moment, as if time has paused to let you witness a turning point so ancient that every star you have ever seen is still only a whisper waiting to begin. Look ahead. The fog that once smothered all light is thinning. It is not a sudden clearing, but a gentle easing, like frost melting on a window as sunlight begins to warm the glass. For hundreds of millions of years, the universe has been wrapped in a dense, hot ocean of particles. Each one bumped into its neighbors so often that no light could travel far. It was a place without sight, a place where heat and motion were trapped in a crowded embrace. But now, the crowd is beginning to loosen. The collisions are fewer, the gaps wider, and in those gaps, light begins to slip through. Step closer with me. Imagine standing on that threshold, one side thick with restless haze, the other side opening into a new kind of space where light can finally stretch its arms. The first photons, delicate as they are, start their journey here. They move like cautious travelers, stepping out of a packed room into a cold, open field. Reach out your hand, and you might feel one of those first rays brushing past, faint yet determined. They will travel for billions of years without tiring, carrying with them the memory of this exact moment. Around us, the glow is soft, neither bright nor dark, more like the pale light before sunrise when the horizon just begins to change. You can sense the tension in the air. On one side of you is the echo of what came before, a universe heavy, warm, and crowded. On the other side is the promise of open skies, of stars that will one day flare to life, of galaxies that will weave their slow patterns across the dark. This is the dawn not of a single world but of all worlds. Try to listen. There is no sound here, not the way we know it, but there is a hum that seems to run through the very fabric of space. It is the sigh of matter releasing its hold, the quiet song of the cosmos cooling enough to let light be free. Each faint ripple is a whisper of what is to come. Those ripples will become the scaffolding of the universe, the invisible lines along which future stars will gather, the threads that will one day shape the great web of galaxies. Take a step into the light now. It is not yet strong, it does not dazzle, but it spreads in all directions with gentle persistence. This is the moment when the universe becomes visible. The fog that held everything close has finally let go. For the first time, sight is possible. If you could stay here long enough, you would watch as that soft glow stretches and fades, thinning over billions of years until it becomes the faint whisper we now call the cosmic microwave background. Think about what that means. Every picture we have of the early cosmos, every measurement of that ancient glow, is a message sent from this boundary of transparency. It is the first clear imprint, the first chance the universe gave us to look back and see its youth. It carries the fingerprints of those early ripples, the slight gatherings of matter that would grow into the galaxies we now admire. Without this moment, the universe would remain forever hidden behind its thick beginning. Stay with me here a little longer. Imagine the temperature slowly dropping around you. The heat that once pressed against your skin is easing. The particles are calmer now, drifting more freely, less eager to collide. Light moves between them like a breeze through tall grass. The change is delicate but immense. It is the difference between a room filled with heavy steam and one where the air is finally clear enough to see across. You might feel a quiet awe in this place, To stand at the boundary of transparency is to witness the universe open its eyes for the first time. Everything ahead of you is unknown. Everything behind you is fading into history. And you are here in the middle, watching the first dawn spread like a pale flame across the cosmic horizon. Reach out again, just to feel the light that has been waiting so patiently. It is thin, almost weightless, yet it carries the story of everything that will come after. Picture yourself floating in a place so wide that every direction feels the same, a quiet expanse with no real up or down. The stars you know are far behind us now, their glow reduced to a thin shimmer. Ahead, there is not a wall, not a gate, but something far stranger, a horizon that is always just beyond reach. How does it feel to know the horizon is racing away faster than we could ever hope to follow? Take a slow breath. Let that idea settle in. We like to think of horizons as places we can walk toward, as lines that wait patiently for our arrival. A horizon on Earth feels steady. You take a step and it stays ahead, but never faster than your stride. Here, the horizon is different. It is not still. It is rushing away, carried by the stretching of space itself. You could travel at the greatest speed you can imagine, and still, it would slip further from you, always a little more distant than before. Look around you now. The galaxies close to us seem calm, drifting gently, as though they have all the time in the world. Their light still reaches us, their shapes still clear. But as you trace your gaze outward, past the familiar clusters and the filaments of faint starlight, you notice how the edges begin to blur. That is where the expansion grows stronger. Space itself stretches there like a slowly inflating fabric, carrying those distant regions away at a pace no ship, no beam, no heartbeat could ever catch. Step with me into that thought. Imagine trying to follow. Each step you take is vast, larger than the distance between stars, yet the horizon moves faster still. It is not running from you on purpose. It is simply the nature of space to stretch, and the farther out you look, the quicker that stretching becomes. The horizon you see today is not the same horizon that was there a moment ago. It is always new, always receding, a boundary drawn by the speed of light and the restless nature of the universe itself. How does it feel, knowing that? There is a quiet ache to it, like standing on a shore watching a ship fade into fog, knowing you can never swim fast enough to reach it. But there is also a kind of wonder. The horizon is not a barrier meant to keep us out. It is a marker of how vast everything is, how full of motion. Every bit of light that reaches us from near that line is a message sent long ago, a letter from a place that may already have changed, drifted, or even vanished. Reach out your hand, not to grab the horizon, but just to feel the space between you and it. That space is growing in ways too gentle to notice up close, but too powerful to stop out here. Whole galaxies are being carried beyond that limit even as we watch. Once they pass it, their light will never catch us again. They do not vanish. They simply become unreachable, like voices calling from behind a mountain that is always climbing higher. Stay here with me a little longer. Listen to the faint hum of the nearby stars. Feel the steady pull of our own galaxy beneath your feet. Those are the anchors that keep us from being lost in the rush. Beyond them, the horizon is a reminder of how young we are in all this. We measure its speed, we name it, but it does not slow for our sake. It carries the edges of the universe outward, like ripples spreading on a pond that has no shore. Think about the time this light has traveled to reach you. Some of it began its journey billions of years before Earth even formed. It crossed a universe that was smaller, denser, quieter. Now, as you watch, that same light is stretched thin by the expansion, its colors softened, its strength reduced to a whisper. Beyond the horizon, new light is born every moment, but most of it will never meet your eyes. Does that make the universe feel colder? Or does it make every photon that does reach you feel more precious? Knowing that the horizon is slipping away means that what we see now is a gift of timing. We live at a moment when much of the cosmos is still within view, when ancient galaxies still send us their stories. Far in the future, many of those stories will fade from sight. Step closer to the edge in your mind. There is no sound here, only the quiet push of space unfolding. The horizon does not roar as it recedes. It moves in silence, carrying entire clusters with it. Each one a city of stars, each one a place where someone might be asking the same question, looking back and wondering about their own fading edge. Reach out once more. The distance is too great to cross, but the act of reaching matters. It connects you to the scale of it, to the truth that the universe is not a fixed thing but a living sea that grows even as you watch. To know that the horizon races away is not to feel loss. It is to feel the pulse of something vast and alive, to understand that even as parts slip beyond reach, the space around you is full of light, full of stories still making their way here. Imagine standing in the quiet of space, where there is no wind, no ground, no horizon that stays still beneath your feet. Look far out into that deep stretch ahead. There is a line there, not a physical wall, not a solid edge you can touch, but a boundary that seems to shimmer like heat on a summer road. What would happen if you tried to chase a line that always runs ahead of you? Take a moment and think of the last time you tried to reach something that kept moving away. On Earth, a horizon stays the same distance no matter how far you walk. You climb a hill, you sail a sea, the horizon comes along with you. But here, in the grand fabric of the universe, that line is not patient. It is not waiting. It is running, pulled by the steady stretching of space itself. Each step you take is not closing the gap, because the space between you and that line is growing even as you move. Step forward with me now. Each stride you make here is enormous, the kind of distance that would swallow the width of galaxies. Yet look at the line ahead. It does not seem any closer. The stars around it are stretched thin, their light faint and tired from the journey it has already taken to reach you. That light began its path long before your world even existed. You are not chasing a simple mark on a map. You are chasing the very edge of what the universe allows you to see. Reach out your hand as if to grasp it. You feel only the cool hush of empty space. The line pulls away again, not by choice, but by the nature of how this cosmos grows. Space itself expands, carrying distant galaxies further and further, as if the ocean were growing between you and a drifting ship. No matter how strong your arms are, the faster you move, the faster the sea grows, and the horizon keeps its lead. How does that make you feel? There is a quiet sadness in knowing that some things will always stay beyond reach, no matter your effort, no matter your speed. Yet there is also a strange comfort. That line is not running to escape you. It is part of a living, changing universe. It shows that the cosmos is not a still picture on a wall, but a painting still being stretched. Its edges tugged outward into places we will never walk. Think about the light that does reach us. Every beam you see tonight has won a long race. It has traveled across this shifting sea and found you before the line could carry its source away. Some of those beams began their flight when the universe was half its age. Others set out before Earth even had oceans. They are survivors of an endless expansion, messages that crossed the gap before it grew too wide. Step again. Picture your feet pressing on nothing but the idea of distance. The line stays ahead, its glow faint, its shape uncertain. It is not a wall to break. It is a limit set by time itself. As the universe grows, that limit runs faster, carrying away places you will never see, voices you will never hear. Yet even as they vanish beyond reach, they leave a trace, a stretched whisper of their light that lingers for a while before fading. Stay with me here a little longer. Watch the way the galaxies near that line seem to blur. Their shapes are soft, their colors turn to faint embers by the pull of expansion. They are not gone. They are simply too far to catch. If you were to chase them, you would only find more space growing in front of you, like a path that rebuilds itself just beyond your step. Now imagine what it would mean to keep running anyway, to move faster than any starship, faster than any dream, knowing the finish line moves faster still. The act of chasing does not bring you closer, but it does teach you something. It teaches you how alive this universe is. It shows you that not everything can be held, and not every journey ends with a touch. Some journeys exist to remind you how wide the cosmos truly is. Reach out once more, not to catch the line, but to feel the space between you and it. That distance is full of stars, full of ancient light, full of stories still traveling toward you. Even if you can never catch the horizon, you can still feel the gift of what lies within it. The warmth of nearby suns, the hum of your own galaxy, the glow of countless worlds that expansion has not yet carried away. Imagine drifting in the calm of space, where nothing presses against you, and yet every direction is full of distant light. Picture the sky around you filled with galaxies, each one a city of stars spinning in quiet grace. Now, stretch your mind into the far future and ask yourself, what would it feel like to watch the universe slowly erase its stars from the canvas of the sky? Take a slow breath. Let the thoughts settle like soft dust drifting across a dark room. The stars that burn now, shining in familiar constellations, are not eternal. They live and die, just as everything in the cosmos does. Red dwarfs may endure for trillions of years, but even they will eventually fade into quiet embers. Massive stars, brilliant in their youth, burn hot and die quickly, leaving only remnants behind. Imagine the first of these lights dimming, the glow of a whole cluster softening until it blends into the darkness. Step closer to that vision with me. Picture a galaxy in the far distance, its spiral arms slowly dimming. Its stars, once bright, begin to exhaust their fuel. Nova after nova flashes briefly, a final statement of existence, before the light softens and fades. Each point of light that disappears is like a note falling silent in a vast symphony, leaving emptiness in the spaces where sound once was. You could almost feel it, that slow hollowing, as the universe gradually loses its brilliance. Reach out in your mind. Let your fingers trace the paths of the stars as they vanish. There is a hush in the air, a quiet that is not emptiness but a stretching of time and light. Galaxies recede ever farther, pulled by the expansion of space. Some of the faintest ones drift beyond our view entirely, their light stretched into invisibility. The canvas of the sky grows emptier, not all at once, but gently, inexorably, as if the universe itself is slowly turning down the brightness on a great cosmic painting. Look around. Even the stars that remain are no longer clustered in their youthful patterns. The constellations we know will dissolve as their constituent stars die or drift apart. The Milky Way itself, our home galaxy, will eventually exhaust its new star supply. Its brilliant spiral arms will fade into a quiet blur of ancient cooling stars. Planets orbiting these stars will witness the same slow dimming. Nights will grow darker, more silent, until only the faintest glimmer of the oldest stars remains. Imagine floating there as an observer of these changes. You would feel the passage of unimaginable spans of time pressing gently against you. The first billion years might pass almost unnoticed, but as trillions of years unfold, entire galaxies grow faint, entire clusters disappear from sight. The universe would not feel violent in this erasure. It would feel tender, patient, as if it is slowly closing its eyes, one star at a time. Picture the light itself changing. Some stars collapse into black holes, others fade into white dwarfs or neutron stars. The brilliant colors of younger stars fade to dull red, then to near invisibility. Light from distant galaxies stretches into infrared, eventually leaving the visible spectrum entirely. What once dazzled becomes a soft glow, then a faint whisper, then nothing. It is the ultimate quieting, the universe, erasing its own brushstrokes from the canvas of space. Feel the emotion of witnessing this. There is loss, certainly, but there is also wonder. Each star that fades is the end of one story and the quiet preservation of matter for another. The universe is not emptying in anger. It is transitioning, shifting from a cosmos of fire to a cosmos of stillness. You would sense the immensity of time in a way that earthbound nights cannot teach you. The canvas would feel vast, vast enough that every disappearing star leaves a gentle space that hums with memory. Reach out your attention to the far edges. Galaxies recede beyond the horizon, even as the stars within them die. Their light becomes so stretched that it no longer reaches observers like you. Entire neighborhoods of stars vanish quietly from your view, The universe grows darker not because matter has gone, but because space has expanded and time has allowed light to fade. It is a process slow beyond imagining, yet inevitable, a gentle tide washing across the great canvas. Step back in your mind and see the whole picture. The cosmos becomes a place of fewer points of light, a place where the quiet hum of cooling stars replaces the brilliance of youth. You could imagine drifting here for billions of years, watching the last surviving stars flicker weakly, surrounded by a darkness that is not frightening but serene. The universe feels immense, timeless, and patient, carrying out its slow, deliberate erasure of brilliance in a rhythm beyond human comprehension. Imagine yourself floating in the vastness of space, where every direction stretches into infinity, and the familiar stars of your night sky are only a small fraction of what exists. Take a deep breath, and let yourself feel the immensity of it. How much of existence lies beyond our reach, hidden in a silence we can never cross. Close your eyes for a moment, and picture the edge of what you can see. Beyond it stretches a universe so vast, so full of matter and light, that even the speed of light itself cannot bring it to us. Turn slowly, and let your gaze sweep across the galaxies near you. They shine as if in celebration, brilliant in their swirling forms, glowing in clusters of stars. Yet as you look farther, into the faint, blurred reddish smears at the very edge of sight, you begin to feel the truth of their remoteness. Beyond that line, countless galaxies exist, growing and evolving, forming stars, spinning planets, and hosting events that will never touch our view. They are real, tangible in their own way, yet for us, they are locked behind a curtain of distance and time. Reach out in your mind and imagine trying to cross that silence. It is not a silence you can measure with ears. It is the absence of any signal that can travel fast enough to reach us. Space stretches between us, and those galaxies faster than light can traverse it. Even the most brilliant explosions, the largest clusters, the earliest flashes of cosmic history, will never be seen by observers here. They are hidden in the vast, ever-expanding silence that forms the boundary of our observable universe. Think of the numbers for a moment. Astronomers estimate that there are 2 trillion galaxies in the observable universe, yet that is only what we can see. Beyond our horizon, there may be more galaxies than we can imagine, stretching endlessly into regions where light has not had time to travel. They are beyond reach now, and will remain beyond reach forever. Each one is a miniature universe, filled with stars, planets, and possibilities, quietly existing in their own cosmic neighborhoods, while we can only guess at their details. Step closer in your imagination. Picture these hidden regions as vast seas of matter and light, stretching in every direction. There is no up, no down, no end. They pulse with motion, stars being born and dying, galaxies colliding, clouds of gas coalescing, yet their activity cannot reach us. Their music is inaudible, their light invisible, their stories untold. The silence between us and them is not empty, it is dense, full of potential and motion, a quiet wilderness that our eyes and instruments can never traverse. Imagine what it would be like to drift closer, trying to reach the unreachable. Each attempt would reveal only more space, more distance, more silence. The horizon keeps moving outward as the universe expands. Galaxies that might have once been visible slip past the limit, carried forever beyond reach. Light from their newest stars is already trapped in the void, traveling toward a place it will never reach. The vastness of what lies hidden grows even as we watch the nearby universe, reminding us of how small our observable bubble truly is. Feel the weight of it. This is a silence not of emptiness but of impossibility. The light that might tell us the secrets of these hidden galaxies has already failed to arrive. Their existence is real, undeniable, yet unknowable to us. Each galaxy beyond the horizon is like a story written in a language we will never learn, a landscape we will never step into, a song we will never hear. Even the most powerful instruments can only hint at the shapes of things beyond the reach of time and light. Look again at the galaxies that are within reach. Their light is a gift, stretching across space and time to meet us. Every photon tells a story, but the stories of the hidden galaxies remain trapped, just out of reach, like letters lost at sea. The farther out you look, the more the universe fades into that eternal silence. In this sense, almost all of existence is beyond us. The universe we see is a tiny window into something infinitely larger, a glimpse of a vastness that we can only imagine, never touch. Pause here for a moment and imagine the quiet of that hidden expanse. No explosions, no glowing clusters, no flaring stars can reach us from there. Yet it is alive, full of motion and energy, following the same cosmic rules as the galaxies we can see. Space stretches and bends, stars form and die, planets spin in their orbits, civilizations might arise, and yet all of it remains locked in a silence we cannot cross. Feel what it means to live with that knowledge. Every time we look into the night sky, every time we measure the farthest light, we are seeing only a fraction of existence. Beyond that fraction lies the unknowable, the unreachable, the silent bulk of the universe. Galaxies slip past our horizon every instant. Stars are born and die in realms we will never witness. And yet that silence is not empty. It is full, so full that it humbles every thought we have about our place in the cosmos. Picture yourself drifting in a universe so vast that your mind struggles to hold the scale of it. The stars around you twinkle faintly, a reminder that some light still reaches us, yet most of existence lies beyond sight. Could entire civilizations live and vanish in that unseen expanse, forever unknown to us? Let that thought sink in, like a weightless drop of water falling into the infinite dark, rippling quietly in ways we will never feel. Look beyond the galaxies we can see, past the edge where light can no longer reach. There may be countless worlds orbiting stars we will never know. They could be spinning planets of rock and gas, oceans and continents, mountains carved by winds that will never meet ours. On some of these worlds, life may have taken root. Tiny organisms may have crawled across alien soils, seas may have swirled with strange currents, and whole ecosystems may have thrived, entirely hidden in a universe that does not allow their light to reach us. Step closer in your imagination. Envision civilizations arising in that hidden space. Intelligent beings, if they exist, could build cities, write histories, celebrate their seasons, and watch their own night skies, just as we watch ours. Entire histories could unfold there, thousands of generations living, loving, learning, and fading without a single trace ever crossing the horizon into our observability. Their stars might shine brightly to them, but to us, those lights are already stretched and silenced by the relentless expansion of space. Reach out mentally and try to touch one of those civilizations. You cannot. Space itself races away faster than any signal could follow. Even if a civilization tried to send messages to beam its existence across the cosmos, the growing gulf would swallow the signal before it ever reached an observer like you. It is a place alive with stories that will never be heard, yet it is as real as the stars above our heads. That hidden expanse is not empty, it is full of life, full of motion, full of events unfolding in a silence we cannot penetrate. Now imagine the scale of it. In the observable universe, we already see billions of galaxies, each containing billions of stars. Beyond that, there may be countless more galaxies where civilizations may rise and vanish, never leaving a mark on our knowledge. Entire networks of intelligent life may bloom, flourish, and fade, their histories imperceptible to us. Planets may be sculpted by technology, societies may send fleets of ships across their own skies, and yet all of it remains in the invisible portion of the cosmos, beyond the reach of any light or signal that could reach Earth. Think of the emotions tied to that thought. There is awe and wonder, certainly, at the possibility that life could be so abundant, yet there is also a humbling emptiness. How small we are in this ocean of being, how fleeting our knowledge is compared to the vast unseen theatre of existence beyond the horizon. The universe may be teeming with intelligence that we will never encounter, whose cultures will rise and vanish without ever intersecting with our own tiny corner of space. Picture the civilizations themselves. Imagine a planet where the sky is dominated by brilliant suns, where beings look up and wonder if they are alone. They could face the same questions we do, searching their own horizon, never knowing that beyond the edge lies a vast silence where others like them may also live and wonder, also never crossing paths. Each civilization might feel infinite within its own bubble, while all around them stretches a reality they cannot touch or see. Step back mentally and feel the enormity of that hidden expanse. It is a living, breathing part of the universe, with its own histories, its own conflicts, its own quiet triumphs. Entire empires may rise and fall, whole ecosystems may flourish and collapse, and yet no message, no light, no sign will ever reach us. They exist in a realm where their vibrancy is real but eternally invisible from our perspective. Picture yourself floating in the deep quiet of space, weightless and untethered, surrounded by stars that shimmer faintly in the distance. Now let your mind drift outward past the galaxies you can see, past the faintest wisps of light, past the boundary of the observable universe. What would it mean if the universe beyond the edge stretched on without end? Let yourself imagine it slowly, letting the vastness sink into your consciousness like sunlight spilling across an endless ocean. Look toward that unseen horizon. Beyond it, there are no walls, no stops, no limits. Space continues, unbroken and infinite. Galaxies, stars, clusters, and dark matter drift endlessly, forming and evolving in realms that will never intersect with our observable patch. There is no edge to hold onto, no boundary to mark the end. Every direction you look, space continues, stretching farther than you can possibly comprehend, filled with light and matter and activity that can never touch the part of the universe we inhabit. Step closer in your imagination and picture what this means. The stars and galaxies we see are only a tiny bubble within a cosmos that might be truly infinite. Beyond our horizon, there could be regions as large as anything we know, each with their own galaxies, each with stars and planets, and perhaps even life, stretching endlessly into the distance. Some of those galaxies might be mirror images of our own, spinning in familiar patterns. Others could be wildly different, shaped by forces we cannot imagine. Yet we will never see them, never measure them, never touch the light they produce, because the universe simply stretches beyond our reach. Reach out your mind and try to feel that immensity. Imagine the scale. Billions of galaxies beyond what we can detect, each containing billions of stars, stretching endlessly. The universe is not finite like a globe, not contained like a box. It flows outward, without border, without repetition, a cosmic expanse whose depth cannot be grasped. Every photon from beyond our edge is trapped in that ever-growing distance, never able to reach us. The horizon marks the limit of what we can see, but not the limit of what is. The cosmos goes on. Think about what this means for existence itself. Life, if it exists in those distant reaches, could thrive, flourish, evolve, and vanish in ways that we can never imagine. Entire civilizations might rise and fall, stars might be born and die, galaxies might collide, and all of it will occur beyond the stretch of our light horizon. We would know nothing of it. The infinite universe would contain more events, more history, more creation than we could ever observe or understand. A vast theater of being playing out silently and endlessly. Picture yourself drifting even farther mentally, past the galaxies at the edge of what is visible. The space between grows, dark and immense, and yet it is not empty. Gravity, dark energy, gas, dust, unseen stars, and countless galaxies continue to exist in patterns and flows beyond what we can ever touch. The scale is so great that your mind strains to hold it, every thought of distance becoming small, insignificant, a single drop in an endless ocean. Reach again in thought and imagine traveling in that infinite stretch. Even at the speed of light, you would never arrive. Every light year you cross reveals more space, more galaxies, more matter. The universe does not loop or fold, it simply continues. Infinity is not just a number, it is a living, breathing reality, unfolding eternally beyond the limits of what we can ever observe. Consider what it does to your sense of place. Our solar system, our galaxy, even our observable universe becomes tiny, almost negligible. We are a small pocket in a universe that has no end, no final horizon, no ultimate boundary. Everything we know is framed by the light that has reached us, but that is only a fleeting fraction of all that exists. Beyond us, infinity stretches in every direction, vast, unknowable, and alive with possibilities we cannot measure. Feel the emotional weight of that immensity. There is awe in knowing that our universe might go on forever, yet also a sense of humility. All the stars we see, all the galaxies we study, all the light and motion we can measure, is just a tiny window into a cosmos far larger than our minds can hold. The universe beyond the edge is unbounded, timeless, and infinite, a place where existence continues on scales beyond imagination, completely unreachable, completely real. Stay with that feeling for a moment. Imagine the galaxies we cannot see, stretching onward without repetition, without end. Think of stars being born and dying, civilizations rising and falling, the cosmic dance continuing forever in silence. That endless expanse holds more than we could ever know or measure, a reminder that the universe is bigger, older, and more complex than our senses can perceive. Imagine drifting weightlessly in the heart of space, with the familiar stars of our night sky floating around you. Now, stretch your mind to a place where every star, every galaxy, every speck of matter across the universe is visible at once. How different would reality feel if we could see all of it at once? Take a slow, deep breath and let that thought unfold, letting your mind adjust to a scale that is truly unimaginable. Look around and imagine the entirety of existence spread before you, not in pieces or patches of light, but as a complete, vast network of cosmic structures. Galaxies stretch in every direction, clusters and superclusters woven into invisible filaments, their intricate connections visible at a glance. You could see the Milky Way, Andromeda, and countless distant galaxies, each one glowing in its own light, yet also recognize how everyone is part of a larger tapestry, part of a rhythm of matter and energy that has been moving for billions of years. Step closer in your mind to the concept. You could follow the path of every photon that has ever traveled, tracing the journeys of light across unimaginable distances, seeing how the universe has grown and changed over time. You could watch stars form in distant nebulae, collide, burn bright, and die in supernova explosions. You could see the faint glow of the cosmic microwave background, the last whispers of the universe's birth, and understand how every galaxy, every star, every particle is a note in an immense, ongoing symphony. Reach out your imagination and feel the depth of time as well as space. Seeing everything at once is not just seeing vast distances, it is witnessing billions of years simultaneously. You could look back at the infant galaxies forming in the early universe, while also observing the brilliant, mature spirals we are familiar with, and even glimpse the fading red dwarfs whose light will last for trillions of years. You would witness the full cycle of cosmic history, the rise and fall of stars, planets, and perhaps even civilizations, all layered together in a single, continuous vision. Imagine the sensation of scale. The universe would no longer feel empty, nor would it feel distant. It would feel alive, dense with events, motions, and possibilities. Every point of light would have its place, yet it would also connect to every other point, a web of interactions and energy flows that stretches endlessly. You could watch galaxies merge, streams of stars flow, and cosmic structures shift across unimaginable distances, seeing the entire network at once, yet feeling the subtle dynamics that govern it all. Consider the emotional impact of this vision. To see everything at once would likely feel overwhelming, yet incredibly beautiful. There would be awe in realizing how small and temporary our own existence is, and yet wonder in knowing that everything is connected, part of the same vast, unfolding story. You could witness the fragility of newborn galaxies, the the steady grandeur of mature spirals, and the final fading of stars that mark the passage of time in a universe that continues even beyond what we can perceive. Step further into this idea. If we could see all of reality at once, our sense of space and distance would be transformed. The night sky would not be a patchwork of dots, each one representing something far away. Instead, it would be a living map of the cosmos, where the positions, motions, and interactions of galaxies and stars are clear and immediate. You could watch clusters tug on one another with gravity, see the subtle warps of space itself, and follow the faint whispers of dark energy pushing everything apart. Reach out once more in your mind. Imagine following the hidden paths that light cannot reach us. You could see galaxies already lost beyond our horizon, moving forever away, yet still part of the grand picture. You could trace the structure of the universe beyond all limits, past what is observable, into the silence where light cannot escape fast enough to reach observers like us. The scale of it would be beyond comprehension, yet strangely coherent, a pattern in chaos, order in infinity. Think of what it would mean for life and perspective. To see everything at once would give a sense of totality that humans can scarcely imagine. The choices of civilizations, the births and deaths of stars, the shifting structures of galaxies, and the slow march of cosmic time would all be visible at once. It would be like holding the entire history and geography of the cosmos in a single glance, a living atlas of existence, stretching from the closest orbiting planet to the most distant, unreachable galaxy. Imagine the silence that would accompany this vision. You would see everything, yet hear nothing in the way we know sound. Instead, you would sense the pulse of matter and energy, the flows of light and gravity, the patterns of creation and destruction, a quiet, almost meditative hum of reality itself. The universe would feel vast, eternal, and intimate all at once, an endless canvas where the story of everything is written, waiting for an observer with the perspective to see it. Stay with this vision a little longer. Every light, every particle, every galaxy in the universe, from the nearest to the farthest, would be part of a single vision, a panoramic map of everything that exists. You would understand connections that are invisible to us now, see chains of causality stretching across billions of light years, and grasp the subtle balance of forces shaping the cosmos. The sheer immensity would humble you, yet the beauty and coherence would inspire a deep sense of belonging, as if you were truly witnessing the heartbeat of existence itself. Imagine yourself suspended in the quiet vastness of space, floating among the stars that shine like distant candles in the black. Let your mind drift even farther, beyond the galaxies we can see, past the faintest glows at the edge of observation. What secrets would be revealed if the fog of the early cosmos could part for us? Close your eyes and picture that ancient veil lifting, letting us glimpse the universe in its infancy, in the moments when everything was new and fragile. Step closer in your imagination and see the first light of the universe breaking through. Before the stars we know existed, there was a time when the cosmos was a dense, hot haze, full of particles too thick for light to travel. It was a universe wrapped in a glowing fog, a place where photons were trapped and chaos reigned. Now imagine that fog parting just enough for us to see through it. Suddenly, the earliest structures would appear, tiny knots of matter pulling together, baby galaxies forming like scattered sparks, stars igniting in their first fierce brilliance. Reach out with your mind and picture the colors of those first lights. They would not be like the soft glows we are used to. They would be sharp, intense, and uneven. The young stars would burn bright blue and white, scattered across irregular clumps, each one a newborn in a cosmos that was only just learning how to grow. Between them, clouds of gas would shimmer, glowing faintly as gravity and pressure worked to mold them into the first stellar nurseries. You could almost feel the energy radiating, warm and alive, like standing near a fire that has just caught. Look deeper, and you might notice patterns in the chaos. Streams of matter weaving together, forming the skeleton of galaxies that will one day mature into spirals and ellipticals. Collisions between young galaxies would be common, bursts of star formation ignited by the impact. Light from these events would travel through space, carrying secrets of the first supernovae, the first black holes forming, the very processes that would shape the universe for billions of years to come. You would be witnessing the blueprint of everything that exists now, the origin story of the cosmos laid bare. Imagine what it would mean to see the invisible forces at work. Dark matter, which shapes the scaffolding of the universe, would reveal itself through the way it pulls visible matter into shape. You could trace the flow of energy, the tug of gravity across vast distances, the dance of unseen mass guiding the luminous matter into patterns that will last for eons. The early universe was alive with these forces, subtle yet unstoppable, shaping everything we see today. Step closer in thought and picture the first stars dying. Massive stars, brilliant and short-lived, would explode in supernovae, sending clouds of enriched material outward. These explosions would plant the seeds for future stars and planets, spreading the building blocks of life across the newborn cosmos. If the fog could part, we would see the very first instances of creation and destruction intertwined, a cycle that continues in galaxies even now. Reach out once more and imagine the civilizations that might one day arise. We cannot see them yet, and perhaps they will not exist for billions of years, but the seeds of chemistry, the first elements forged in stars and scattered across space, are already forming. If the fog lifted, we would witness the preparation of the universe for life, the careful assembly of matter and energy that eventually allows planets, oceans, and life itself to emerge. The universe was crafting its stage even before the first observers could exist to notice. Think of the scale of it all. The fog of the early universe was not small. It stretched across billions of light years, a haze so dense and bright that we could not see past it. To lift it, even for a moment, would be to reveal an almost incomprehensible volume of matter and energy, to see the roots of cosmic structures and the origin of the galaxies that now form the familiar map of the sky. It would be like seeing the first strokes on a cosmic canvas that will continue to grow for billions of years. Picture the stories hidden in that fog, the first galaxies colliding, stars igniting and dying, black holes forming, and gas clouds swirling in silent chaos. Every event holds a secret about how the universe became what it is today. Parting the fog would allow us to trace these stories, to understand the first chapters of a book whose later pages we already know, to witness the origins of matter, motion, and light in a universe still discovering its own laws. Feel the emotional weight of that vision. There is awe, yes, in seeing how vast and intricate the early cosmos was. There is wonder at the resilience and beauty of creation, even in its chaotic infancy. And there is humility in knowing that most of what exists remains hidden, part of a vast expanse that will never fully reveal itself. The fog shields us from the earliest moments, yet it also invites imagination, a space where curiosity can roam and marvel at what was, what is, and what will be. Envision drifting through the quiet of space, surrounded by stars that glimmer faintly, and galaxies that shine like scattered lanterns across the void. How many stories are lost forever to the darkness beyond our horizon? Consider the galaxies that have already slipped past, carried by the expansion of space into regions we can never see. Each one is a city of stars, planets, and potential life, holding events that will never reach our eyes. Their light, stretched thin and slowed by distance, is trapped beyond the speed at which it can cross the growing gulf. Look farther and feel the immensity of it. Our observable universe is vast, yet it is only a fraction of what exists. Beyond the horizon, there may be countless galaxies, each filled with stars forming and dying, with clouds of gas coalescing and dispersing. Every collision, every supernova, every swirl of dust is happening in silence beyond our view. The histories of these regions continue, yet they are locked away in a cosmic archive that we cannot access. Consider the scale of lost events. Galaxies that existed billions of years ago have already drifted beyond our reach. Stars that may have hosted planets with oceans and continents, stars that may have nurtured life, now shine in a region of space where no observer on Earth will ever witness them. Entire civilizations, if they exist, could have risen and fallen, leaving no trace behind. Their achievements, discoveries, joys, and sorrows vanish from the possibility of observation. Step mentally to the edge of this cosmic boundary. The light that once traveled toward us is slowed, stretched, and eventually lost. Even the faintest glimmer from distant galaxies may no longer reach Earth. You could watch billions of years of history disappear into the darkness, every event slipping quietly past the horizon, inaccessible, unseen, and permanent. The universe grows not only larger but also quieter in the distance, with more stories fading from our vision every moment. Picture the civilizations themselves. Planets orbiting distant stars may have seen rising suns and setting moons, forests and oceans, cities and cultures. Those worlds could have celebrated, explored, and wondered about the universe. Yet all of it remains entirely hidden. Every thought, every discovery, every life lived is part of a vast cosmic narrative that we will never witness. The expanse beyond our horizon is not empty. It is full of history, full of existence, yet forever beyond our reach. Consider the passage of time. The further away a galaxy is, the faster it recedes from us due to the expansion of space. Even light from its youngest stars cannot keep pace. Each moment brings more galaxies and more events beyond our reach. The further we look, the more we realize how little of the universe is actually observable. Most of existence lies in that silent, hidden expanse, moving through eons without ever intersecting with our observation. Reach out with your mind and feel the scale of this hidden universe. Each lost galaxy is a note in a cosmic melody that will never be heard, a story written in light that will never be read, a life that will never connect with ours. Supernovae explode, black holes form, stars live and die, and civilizations may rise and vanish, yet all of it occurs in the silence beyond our observational boundary. It is a reminder of how much exists beyond what we can see, a humbling vision of cosmic immensity. Now, let your awareness stretch across time. The darkness beyond our horizon is not merely a limit of distance, it is a limit of causality. Light, matter, and information from these distant regions will never interact with us. The events occurring there are real, yet we will never witness them. Planets may spin, oceans may ripple, stars may shine and die, and civilizations may flourish and collapse in the silence, forever hidden. Feel the weight of this knowledge. The universe is alive beyond our view, full of motion, creation, and history. Yet for us, it is a silent expanse, a vastness that will never reveal its full story. Every galaxy that disappears past the horizon is another chapter we cannot read. Every star that fades is a voice that will never reach us, and every potential civilization is a life that remains entirely unknown. Step into the quiet of the cosmos and let your awareness stretch across unimaginable distances. What would you feel if the last photon from a distant galaxy touched your eye, a final message from across eternity? Let that thought sink in slowly. Imagine a single point of light, traveling for billions of years, racing across the expanding universe, passing stars, clusters, and empty voids. It has endured countless cosmic events along its journey, a lone messenger carrying a story that will end the moment it is observed. Think about the voyage of that photon. It was born in a star that may have long since burned out, in a galaxy that might no longer exist in its original form. Perhaps civilizations rose and fell, stars ignited and collapsed, planets orbited suns that no longer shine, and yet this photon persisted, moving relentlessly through the darkness. Every moment it traveled, it carried the imprint of that distant galaxy, its composition, its light, its energy, a fragment of existence from a time and place that we can scarcely imagine. Reach out in your mind and feel the enormity of that journey. This tiny particle of light has traversed the vast, expanding universe, enduring gravitational fields, dark matter, and the pull of unseen forces. It has witnessed the cosmos in motion without being affected by time in the same way we are. It arrives now, carrying with it a message from the past, a faint whisper from a part of the universe that may no longer exist as it once did. Consider the emotion of witnessing this final signal. There is awe in recognizing the endurance of a single photon across billions of years. Yet there is also a profound sense of melancholy. It is the last trace of something that is otherwise gone, a final echo from a distant, vanished world. You feel the weight of its story, knowing it has traveled across both space and time, that it has survived the slow drift of the universe, only to vanish into your perception as its journey concludes. Now, let your mind visualize the galaxy it came from, a place of countless stars, perhaps spinning in elegant spirals or clumped as irregular shapes. Its stars have burned brightly and cooled, its gas clouds have swirled and dispersed, and its very structure may have changed beyond recognition. Yet this photon carries the memory of that galaxy's existence, a final piece of evidence that it was real, that it lived and moved and shone. Your eye receives it, a bridge across eternity, connecting your present to an ancient past. Step closer to the feeling of being part of this cosmic exchange. The universe, in a sense, has whispered directly to you through this photon. It is as though a hand reaches out across billions of years and billions of light years to touch you. You feel the history embedded in the light, the fusion in ancient stars, the glow of nebulae forming, the subtle motion of the galaxy itself. In that instant, you are connected to something so far away and so long gone that it stretches the limits of imagination and understanding. Consider how fleeting this moment is. The photon will vanish after it touches your eye. Its message is received but not preserved in the cosmos. It has fulfilled its purpose. What you experience is a singular, irreplaceable interaction, a moment of connection with a part of the universe that is now otherwise lost. There is a sense of privilege and fragility in this encounter, a recognition that the universe allows these tiny windows of understanding, but only rarely and only for an instant. Feel the magnitude of the journey in terms of distance and time. The photon has traveled across billions of light years, from a region of space that may have receded faster than light can ever traverse. It has survived cosmic expansion, gravity, and interactions with other matter. It carries the imprint of the universe's past and deposits it gently upon your perception, a bridge from eternity to the present. The universe has reached out to you in a gesture of astonishing patience and subtlety. Now think of the wider implications. Every photon from a distant galaxy is a story, a fragment of history, a witness to cosmic events. Most will never reach us. Most will vanish forever into the silence beyond our horizon. But this one, this final photon, is different. It is a messenger, a last survivor from a vanished civilization of light, a concluding note in the long symphony of cosmic history. To witness it is to feel both the vastness and the intimacy of the universe at once, to know how much is lost, and yet to grasp the fleeting beauty of what can still be known. Let the sensation linger. You are both observer and participant, catching the final whisper from a galaxy that exists no longer. You feel the silence that surrounds it, the immensity of the distance it has traveled, and the patience of the universe itself. The last photon is a quiet testament to the enduring nature of light, of memory, of existence, and it leaves you with a profound sense of awe, humility, and connection to the cosmos. Lift your awareness gently and let your mind stretch across the cosmic expanse. How long will it be before even the galaxies we see today fade away into the unreachable? Think about the familiar spirals and ellipticals scattered across the night sky, the glowing clusters of stars that make up the Milky Way and our neighboring galaxies. These magnificent structures appear permanent from our human perspective, yet they are not immune to the inexorable passage of time and the relentless expansion of the universe. Step closer in your imagination and picture the Milky Way as it is now, luminous and vibrant, a city of stars spinning gracefully. Around it, Andromeda glows softly in the distance, and countless other galaxies shimmer faintly, each with billions of stars, each a cradle for untold events. They seem eternal, yet even these familiar galaxies are moving, carried by cosmic expansion. Over immense stretches of time, they will recede from us, drawn beyond the horizon where no light can ever reach our eyes. Reach out mentally and imagine the scale of this process. Current estimates suggest that in roughly 100 billion years, many galaxies outside our local group will slip beyond our observable universe. Light from them will be stretched by the expansion of space so much that it can no longer travel fast enough to reach Earth. Their stars will continue to shine, yet for any observer in our corner of the cosmos, they will be gone, unreachable, erased from the observable map of the universe. The night sky will grow emptier, the familiar points of light fading one by one, leaving only the stars that are gravitationally bound to our own galaxy and its immediate neighbors. Picture the long journey of time beyond that. Trillions of years from now, even galaxies in our local group will transform. Stars will age, burn out, and die. Red dwarfs will continue to burn slowly, but eventually, even they will fade. Supernovae will become less frequent, and the supply of free gas for new star formation will dwindle. Galaxies will grow quieter and darker, their light dimming as the final generations of stars flicker out. The cosmos will not be empty, but it will be a dim, sparse, and lonely place compared to the brilliance we see today. Consider the enormity of these timescales. Human history is a blink in comparison to the billions of years over which galaxies fade. The light from the farthest objects we currently observe began its journey billions of years ago, and even that light is only now reaching us. In the distant future, the last photons from these galaxies will struggle against the expansion of space, stretched so thin that they will never arrive. The universe will become increasingly isolated, with galaxies disappearing from each other's view and from ours. Step closer to the feeling of witnessing this gradual vanishing. Imagine standing on a planet, orbiting a star in our galaxy far in the future. The night sky will be less crowded, the familiar pinpoints of light replaced by vast stretches of darkness. Those galaxies that once dazzled observers will have drifted forever beyond reach, leaving only the local stars and remnants of cosmic structures. The universe will still be alive, yet it will have grown distant and silent, each galaxy a fading island in the expanding sea of space. Reach out with your mind and imagine the fate of civilizations living in these galaxies. Over the course of trillions of years, they may witness their cosmic neighbors disappearing from view, light from distant galaxies fading into nothingness. The cosmos will feel smaller to them even as it continues to expand. Civilizations may adapt, ponder the isolation, or fade away themselves, their histories eventually lost to the unstoppable march of time. Think of the slow, patient work of the universe itself. Galaxies will not vanish suddenly. Their fading will be gradual, a quiet process as light stretches and recedes. Stars will burn longer or shorter depending on their size and composition. Cosmic structures will slowly rearrange under gravity, merging and collapsing in patterns dictated by the laws of physics. Yet throughout this transformation, the observable universe will shrink, horizons retreating, and familiar galaxies slipping away into the unreachable. Let the scale of time settle in. From our present vantage, the fading of galaxies is almost inconceivable, yet it is inevitable. The cosmos will become a quieter, darker place, with fewer points of light to guide future observers. The universe we see today, filled with vibrant spirals and luminous clusters, will eventually fade into isolation, with only local galaxies left visible, and even those slowly dimming over unimaginable stretches of time. Feel the weight and the wonder of this process. It is not an ending in a dramatic sense, but a slow, majestic transformation. Galaxies will continue their existence, stars will burn and die, and the universe will expand ever outward, stretching space itself. For any observer in the distant future, the universe will feel more vast in some ways and smaller in others, a paradox of distance and isolation. The light of today's galaxies will become a memory, their stories hidden beyond horizons that will never be crossed. Let your mind drift far into the future, trillions of years ahead, and picture a night sky almost unrecognizable to us. What would the night sky of the far future look like when the horizon has swallowed nearly everything? The stars and galaxies we now take for granted, the familiar patterns and glowing clusters that fill our sky, will have changed beyond recognition. Space will have stretched, expansion pulling everything away until most of the light from distant galaxies can no longer reach any observer. Focus on what remains. In the far future, the only stars visible in our night sky will be those bound gravitationally to our local galaxy cluster. The Milky Way, perhaps merged with Andromeda and several other nearby galaxies, will glow as a massive irregular structure, but the sky beyond it will be empty and dark. The familiar constellations will be gone, dissolved into the silence, leaving a sparse scattering of stars that are slowly burning out. The vast cosmic tapestry we know today will shrink into isolated pockets of light, surrounded by a black, expanding void. Consider the colors and intensity. The light from distant galaxies, once bright and colorful, will have stretched into long, invisible wavelengths. Redshift will make them vanish from perception, leaving only faint smudges for the most powerful eyes, and even those will fade over time. The universe will feel smaller, lonelier, almost hollow, as the great clusters and superclusters disappear beyond the horizon. You could stand on a planet within a surviving galaxy and look out into the sky only to see blackness, punctuated by the few remaining stars of your own cosmic neighborhood. Reach out in thought and imagine the sensations of standing under such a sky. There is a profound silence, not merely the absence of sound, but the absence of cosmic interaction. No streams of light flow in from distant galaxies. No collisions or mergers animate the horizon. The universe has slowed in its observable complexity. The sky would be tranquil, yet in a way that is almost eerie, as though time itself has condensed into local events, with the infinite reaches of the cosmos receding into unobservable distance. Step closer in your mind and picture the planets orbiting these remaining stars. They will see the same sky, a quiet panorama of isolated stars and black voids. If life persists, it will have a very different sense of scale and eternity. The heavens will no longer feel crowded with light, no longer filled with the stories of distant galaxies. Instead, civilizations would perceive a universe shrinking into itself, vast in physical size but isolated in observation, as the horizon has swallowed nearly everything beyond reach. Consider the progression over time. Even the remaining stars will eventually die. Red dwarfs may burn for trillions of years, yet their light too will fade in time. White dwarfs, neutron stars, and black holes will dominate the landscape, small points of energy in an otherwise silent and dark cosmos. The night sky will gradually lose its sparkle entirely, leaving only faint glows and perhaps the occasional distant supernova, rare reminders that the universe is still active even when most of it has disappeared from view. Picture the emotional weight of this vision. There is awe in the scale and the patience of cosmic processes. There is also solitude, a quiet loneliness that comes from knowing that nearly all of existence lies beyond observation. The universe will feel more intimate in some ways because only local structures remain visible, yet it will also feel immense in its isolation, with darkness stretching endlessly in all directions. To witness such a sky would be to feel the slow fading of cosmic history itself. Step back mentally and imagine how the stars themselves might appear. Galaxies may have merged into massive, dim structures, spirals blended into amorphous clouds, their once vibrant cores now fading. The motion of galaxies and clusters, still occurring, would be largely invisible. Streams of stars flowing and colliding, once dramatic events in the observable sky, will be hidden beyond the horizon. The universe will appear still, tranquil, and quiet, yet beneath that stillness, the slow heartbeat of cosmic evolution will persist. Reach out and feel the subtle dynamics that remain. Gravity will still bind stars and remnants into clusters. Black holes will quietly consume matter, and energy will continue to radiate from surviving stars. These events are small compared to the grand scale of the vanished universe, yet they are all that will be visible. The night sky will be intimate, dominated by the few remaining pockets of light that survive the long, patient stretching of space. Consider what it would mean for observers in this era. Civilizations would have no way to see beyond their local cluster. All knowledge of the broader universe would be lost. The cosmic microwave background will have faded into undetectable wavelengths. The light of the earliest stars and distant galaxies will have long vanished. Observers would see a universe that feels small and finite, yet the true universe stretches infinitely beyond, unseen, hidden, and unreachable. Feel the enormity of that contrast. The universe will be physically immense, yet visually and observationally contracted. The night sky, once filled with billions of points of light, will be dominated by the survivors within gravitational bounds, a sparse and intimate panorama. The experience would be humbling, beautiful, and melancholic all at once, a reminder of the slow passage of cosmic time and the inevitability of horizons swallowing the once visible universe. Let us linger here for a while, drifting gently in the far future of the cosmos, where the night sky has grown quiet and empty, and nearly everything familiar has slipped beyond the horizon. Imagine yourself suspended in that darkness, weightless and calm, surrounded only by the faintest glimmers of stars that remain from your local cluster. The galaxies we know, the spirals and ellipticals, the glowing clusters that once filled the sky, are gone from view, their light stretched thin or entirely lost. You are in a universe that feels both intimate and infinite, a place where the last surviving points of light serve as solitary beacons in an endless, silent void. Feel the immense passage of time. Trillions of years have unfolded to bring the universe to this state. Stars that once burned brightly have cooled or faded. Massive ones have exploded and vanished, and the few that remain are dim, old, and patient. Entire civilizations that might have observed the universe may be long gone. Planets may still orbit these fading stars, carrying quiet traces of life, or they may be empty and cold, witnesses to the relentless passage of cosmic history. You are floating above all of it, a calm observer in a universe that has gradually emptied itself of the once vivid tapestry of light. Reach out mentally and feel the silence. There is no rushing of streams of light from distant galaxies, no bursts of novas or collisions, no unfolding drama beyond your local cluster. The universe has grown still in observation, though not in existence. Black holes continue their quiet work, stars slowly burn, and dark energy continues to stretch space, pulling unseen galaxies ever farther away. The observable universe has contracted into a sparse map of light, each star a survivor in an immense, expanding ocean of dark, unreachable regions. Take a moment to sense the scale. The universe now feels smaller visually, but remains boundless in its true extent. Beyond your perception, there are countless galaxies, stars, and possible worlds, moving and evolving, forever out of reach. The cosmos is richer than any observer could ever comprehend, yet here you are, seeing only what remains within grasp. It is a reminder of the patience and indifference of the universe, the vastness of space, and the finite window through which any observer can witness its story. Consider the emotional weight of this quiet panorama. There is awe in the beauty of the survivors, melancholy in the realization of what has been lost, and humility in understanding our place in this vast, silent cosmos. The universe has lived through billions of years of light and motion, and you are witnessing one of its final stages, where the horizon has claimed nearly everything. Yet, in this emptiness, there is also serenity. The chaos and collisions of the early universe have faded. The rapid flaring of young stars has slowed. The cosmos has reached a long, patient maturity, silent but alive, calm but eternal. Picture the last faint glows of galaxies and stars as if they were embers from a long burning fire. Each one tells a story, a history of creation, evolution, and transformation. You may feel the tug of connection, knowing these points of light have endured across unimaginable spans of time, witnessing billions of years of cosmic change, now offering their final messages to any observer present. Every photon that reaches you carries the memory of existence, a quiet testament to the enduring pulse of the universe. Let your thoughts drift to the silence beyond. The vast regions that have already disappeared from view remain active and alive, but their stories are hidden forever. Galaxies, stars, and perhaps civilizations exist beyond the horizon, yet they are unreachable, their light unable to cross the expanding gulf. Infinity continues, silent, patient, and indifferent to observation. The universe stretches outward, vast and unknowable, reminding you of how small and transient your own experience is, and yet how remarkable it is that any light, any observation, has ever reached you at all. Feel the final sense of awe. The universe has lived, evolved, and matured, and now you are witnessing a stage that is both ending and enduring. The night sky is quiet, sparse, and intimate, each surviving star a solitary witness to cosmic history. Time continues beyond your perception, yet in this moment, the universe is a place of calm reflection, a gentle and magnificent expanse. You are both observer and participant, connected to the cosmos by the last threads of light that still reach your eyes. As you linger here, allow yourself to absorb the full scope of what this quiet future means. The horizon has claimed nearly everything, yet the universe is not empty. It is full of potential, full of history, and full of enduring motion that will continue long after all observable light has faded. You feel the vastness, the solitude, and the quiet majesty of it all. There is no rush, no urgency, only the slow, eternal unfolding of cosmic time. In this stillness, you understand something profound. The universe is larger, older, and more mysterious than we can ever fully perceive. Its stories extend far beyond what light can carry, and yet the fragments that remain the surviving stars, the local galaxies, the faint glows of creation, offer a final connection across space and time. You sense the continuity of existence, the rhythm of creation and dissolution, the patient persistence of matter and energy. You are part of it, a witness to the universe's long story, and in this observation, you find both wonder and peace. Stay here a moment longer, letting the last glimmers of light imprint themselves on your mind. The night sky of the far future is quiet, nearly empty, yet rich with meaning. Each star, each remaining galaxy, is a monument to endurance and cosmic history. Beyond the horizon lies infinity, silent, unseen, and unreachable, a reminder of the scale and majesty of the universe. And as you hold this vision, you feel a deep connection to all that has been, all that exists, and all that will endure, even beyond perception.